Hello lovelies, welcome back to my channel. So today we'll be talking about Midge Maisel from the marvelous Miss Maisel and her favorite beauty products. Alright, so let's talk a little bit about Midge Maisel. So the Marvelous Maisel is one of my new favorite TV shows. It is on Amazon Prime and it's a period comedy drama series. It takes place in the late 1950s and early 1960s in New York City, and she discovers her knack for stand-up comedy and decides to pursue a career in it. So I don't know who has seen the show, but I love the vintage fashion in it and the sets and everything involved in the TV show. I remember I used to be obsessed with Mad Men, and when that ended I was having vintage withdrawals from television, so I was really happy when this show started. And I just finished the latest season, so I thought it'd be fun to do a video about Midge Maisel. So Midge Maisel was born Miriam Weissman to father Abe Weissman and mother Rose Weissman. She's the wife of Joel Maisel and the mother of their two children, Ethan and Esther Maisel. So I thought it'd be fun to talk about Midge Maisel's favorite beauty products. Midge loved Coty face powder. This is a vintage product from 1934. And it was one of the first powders to be marketed as air spun. So it had a nice light application and works wonders at making your face look flawless and smooth, and it's one of my go-to face powders. I still use it on a regular basis. Midge Maisel also loved Revlon lipstick. You can see her mentioning it a few times in the show when she worked at the cosmetic counter. Her favorite shades are Cherries in the Snow and Fire and Ice, and these are both from the 1950s. They're very iconic classic reds. Cherries in the Snow is more of a pinky red versus Fire and Ice, which is like a true vintage red. And Miss Maisel loved to use rose talc, and this tin of talcum powder was spotted in on her vanity a few times, and I just love the look of this vintage bottle, and I quite like the smell of roses as well, so I can see why she would love this. And her favorite perfume is Miss Dior, and this was an original perfume that came out in 1947. I can see her wearing this because she's definitely a classic lady, but she also is very modern in many ways. So I could see her wearing this perfume because it was targeted towards the modern woman who embraced the new look in the 1950s. And it's a really nice perfume. I quite like it. It's such a classic perfume. So Miss Dior is her favorite go-to scent. And for makeup, Miss Maisel loved Max Factor. Her favorite eyeshadow was the Jade Green, and I found a modern day version in a stick, and this is kind of like a 1950 early 60s green, and I really like how you apply it. It goes on super easy. It's a nice eyeshadow, and I really like the stick format. So this is Midge's go-to eyeshadow. So Midge Maisel loved cold cream, and she would apply it to her face to remove her makeup, and then she would apply a thick hydrating beauty fluid to sleep in at night. And this was said to prevent wrinkles and was probably a tip from her mother, but it was also beauty advice in 1950s magazines like the Sydney Morning Herald. And this is a routine for good grooming. In the 1952 article, the Herald advised women to apply complexion milk at bedtime to wake up with supple, wrinkle-free skin. In Midge Maisel's timeline, housewives were also expected to look fresh-looking around their husbands, and that meant to be done up and pretty in the morning when they wake up. So there's many scenes of her waking up before Joel wakes up, and she goes into the bathroom and gets her hair and makeup looking perfect before he wakes up. And Midge also loved Pond's Angel Face, and she would use this as her foundation, and it's a really nice face powder. And this one has been around since 1946, and that's when the Pond's Angel Face came out. And for mascara, Midge wore Max Factor mascara. I found this vintage one still in the package, and it looks like it could be from the early 1960s. I really love the vintage packaging, and I'm tempted to open it, but I love the gold wand as well. And for cleansing cream, I bet she either used Pond's or maybe Queen Hyleen, and I love this one. It's very thick and creamy, and it works wonders at removing makeup, and I just love this kind of floral fragrance. It smells very vintage, and I can picture Midge wearing this on a daily basis. And for moisturizing her skin, she most likely used oil of Olay beauty fluid, and this has been around since 1952 and it was very popular in the late 50s and in the 60s moving onwards. It's kind of a classic product, and a lot of women used it on their face and hands before bed, and I just love the pink color of it and the vintage smell. And I also have a modern version too, and it's a really nice product to wear before bed or in the daytime. And when it comes to hair, Miss Maisel loved the Hairspray Aquanet, and this is a vintage hairspray that has been around since the 1950s, and I love this vintage inspired bottle, and it works really well at keeping your hair up and without making it too sticky, and it's a very crystal clear super hold formula, and this has been around since the 1950s. And for brushes, I know Miss Maisel is definitely a classic woman, and she had really good taste. She loved high-end products, so I can picture her using the Mason Pearson brush. I love this light blue color because it kind of has a 1950s, early 60s look to it, but I can picture her having this on her vanity. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you want me to do any other characters from movies or TV shows. Alright, I'll talk to you guys again soon. Bye!